So welcome, Jacqui. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me today.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And I know from doing my research about you that you had an early interest in theatre and you wrote and directed your own shows. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. And I suppose then, in your opinion, like how intertwined are like theatre acting and acting on the screen,
Like, how would I differentiate the two?
or like how like closely linked to each other do you think they are?
Okay. Um, I would say they're closely linked in the idea of storytelling,
Right.
but the actors and the way about portraying emotion
Mm,
is it can be quite different. Not always, but it usually comes from the same place of heart, though. The emotion and what the actor feels, I think, is quite similar, but the difference comes in the expression
mm,
and the varying levels of intensity. Um, I think theater is also a little bit more open with its expression. It kind of lets
sure.
everybody in and it shows everything, and it it's like a child like
Mm,
doesn't know how to control their emotion, I would say. And then,
yeah,
or, it depends. This is all just very general. And then for film, it's a lot more introspective, it's a lot more subtle because
mm,
the camera is so close to you and an audience member is so far away that we still want to be the audience wants to yearn for more at the
sure.
end. So it does, when you're far away, it can still not see everything and be so intimate. I don't
Mm,
know. It's very different but the same. Same emotion, different expression,
for sure.
different
Absolutely.
forms.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I suppose, like in your case, like, did you always know you wanted to act, or was there a project in particular that kind of solidified it for you that you wanted to do this?
I was like probably in elementary school, and I saw the play Sweeney Todd
Okay.
at, at my sister's high school, and
Yeah.
I saw it being performed, and I was like, I want to
Mm.
do what they're doing.
Absolutely. I mean, I was going to say that's an interesting play to see at that age. Like, was that, something that affected you at all, like being that young, seeing a play like that?
Yes, it's true. I think that my mom almost didn't let me go, but I loved it so much. It is gory and it is dark, but I
Mm.
don't even think I picked up that much on the darkness of it, them eating people. I just loved the expression. I loved the freedom. I loved um the community of them on stage together in tune and step, and they were being quirky and weird and pushing the boundaries and limits, and I absolutely soaked it in. It was a euphoric feeling to be a
Mm.
part of.
Absolutely. And I suppose like very tenuously linking, obviously, a gory, like older crowd kind of thing. You were in Fear Street Part Two for Netflix, and I could be wrong because there was two releases, right? There was one on July the 8th, one on July the 9th.
There was also another one of the third Fear Street movie.
Oh, I see. Okay,
There was
maybe,
a third one, but I wasn't in the third or the first.
yeah,
I'm just in the second.
second
Yeah.
one. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Because obviously, just a bit of a fun fact there that it actually came out on my birthday. Oh,
Hmm.
July the 8th is my birthday, so I was quite happy when I realized that. That was pretty interesting. Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Well, back then, yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, but I suppose getting back on topic though, but like, what was your biggest takeaway from working on that project?
um I guess just be prepared for anything because
Mm,
I got that project. I auditioned for it maybe like 6 months before. I didn't hear anything. I did the take maybe one or two times and sent it in, and then heard back 6 months later, and they asked if I could fly in the next day. So it kind of just really showed me like, whoa, anything can happen in this field, and be
mm,
prepared.
absolutely. And I would say, well, obviously, Fear Street would be kind of in the slasher genre, right? And there's obviously plenty of, earlier films like thematically that could have inspired or influenced. Like, were you a fan of any of those kind of films? Obviously, there's very, like Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream, like that kind of thing, or like was this all new territory for you?
Um, I would say it was more new territory for me.
Mm,
I not I had never really watched that many slasher films
mm,
before. Um, but I loved Fear Street 1978, and
yeah.
it definitely made me I loved all the Fear Street movies, and it made me want to get into them. So it actually
Mm,
kind of introduced me into
sure.
slashers. Yeah.
Like kind of backwards as opposed to,
Mhm.
yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, because I suppose I'm kind of linking to that as well, and you might have to correct my pronunciation here, but Leigh Janiak, who directed it, is that right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I believe that she actually also worked on the Scream television series, but like, so obviously she would have a background in slasher projects going into this, and obviously the wider trilogy. But like, how would you describe your experience of working with Leigh on this film?
Oh yeah, she's awesome. You can
Mm,
definitely tell she has this like quirky, very specific eye for what she wants, and
mm,
you can tell when she talks to you, she's really excited to portray her vision to you, and she's excited to kind of put a weird spin element on it, make it
mm,
really cool.
yeah.
She's really fun to work with because you can feel the vibe just oozing off of her of what she wants when she
Mm,
comes in and she explains it. Um I was also really comfortable working with her because she's a woman and I had a
mm,
sex scene in it, and it was like my
right.
first one, and I was nervous and everything, and she made me feel so comfortable and so confident, and she's just a really cool artistic woman with so much expression and uniqueness to her that I'd love to work with her again.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I suppose obviously, right, because obviously people see performances and like hear the words, you kind of get an idea of like the writing, but you don't really see the directing, like the people who are watching projects, like in your like mind, as someone who's like sees directing while it's happening, like what kind of differentiates directors for you? Like what kind of makes directors stand out?
You mean like directors in comparison to actors or other people on set?
Or like just like in like directors you've worked with, like because obviously like most people wouldn't see that part of the process, right? That that's obviously you know on the set, but like in your experience, like what has made different directors stand out to you in terms of how they went about doing things?
Oh, I think that the directors that get really involved with the actor,
Mm,
it seems like something that'd be happening all the time,
yeah.
but it's not as common in my experience, honestly. Directors kind of sometimes hire the actors and let them completely do their own thing, which
Mm,
I think is great too. I really love, but in my experience and me personally, I really love the opportunity to work with the director because, and closely with them to really
mm,
feel and understand their vision so we can mesh a cohesive story. And I love input, and I'm really good with notes and listening to what they want to do and making it my own and then saying, hey, what about this? So we can kind of build and make something together instead of just having it be my
yeah,
thing or their thing. I want it to be our thing.
for
So,
sure.
yeah, I love that working together part.
Absolutely. And I suppose kind of like on that topic, like was there anyone from the cast you were excited to work with?
Um yeah, I was really excited to work with um Sadie Sink,
Mm,
Michael Provost, um and I was really excited working with Emily Rudd and
mm,
just honestly, everyone that I met ended up being someone I was really, really blessed to have. Drew Seed was really excited, was really awesome to work with.
mm.
Um, I couldn't have asked for a better cast. It was so much fun, and everyone's so nice and so talented.
Absolutely. And I suppose, obviously, being the second film in the trilogy, and but I know, obviously, with the story, like, did you have to know much about what happened in the first film to understand the context of your film, or was it kind of separate to each other?
Definitely not for my character. I did not
Sure.
need to know. I think that for some of the characters, it might be helpful to know, but
Mm,
honestly, not really, because 1978 does kind of stand alone as its own thing. Actually,
yeah.
each movie kind of independent in that way,
Mm,
which what is I think what makes it super successful, but they are kind of they are very much so linked.
mm,
So you can go either way. I don't think you necessarily have to know what happens to do a good job acting. You kind of just have to live in the moment.
right.
But I think it can help, especially if you're playing one of the more present characters.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, no, you didn't. I definitely did not need to know what was happening in the
abs-
first.
mm, absolutely, yeah. And I know, right, it's obviously kind of part of the job of an actor to kind of move between different genres or different mediums. And I know, like, you've done television, The Wonderful World of Haunted Wood, but like, is that something you kind of look forward to, kind of doing one project and then do something completely different, or is that daunting for you?
Yeah,
Like, I mean, how do you find that?
I definitely find it exciting. I like
Mm,
doing as many different things as possible. Like with the new movie coming out, it's very different from the
yeah,
character that I played in Fear Street or anything really. And I just look forward to just challenging myself and doing things, flipping the coin and doing things completely different, just jumping back and forth. I love the contrast of that. And I hope that I have the opportunity to keep doing that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's important, right, not to get, I mean, not even typecast, but if you do like too many like similar things in a row, right, people kind of is it pigeonhole you a little bit, kind of think, oh, they only do this type of project, and I couldn't really realistically see them doing this, and right, it can
I
not really
guess
work
that's
out very
kind
well.
of, yeah, that's kind of what people say, but um, yeah, I don't know. I haven't had that experience yet, and I
Yeah,
think it's
knock on wood.
because yeah, I just give me the tape, give me the opportunity
Mm,
to at least show you, and I don't
yeah.
think I think then we'll go from there.
Right, yeah, and as you were kind of mentioning a minute ago, obviously you play Annabelle as well in the Surprise Visit, which is an upcoming film. But I suppose, like, what can you like tell us about it, and like, where can people see it once it's available?
It's about a young couple that um, is heavy into drugs.
Mm,
They find out that they're pregnant. They're, like I said, young and they have no
right.
money.
Mm,
So they're trying to do what they can to make a future for themselves
mm,
whilst making decisions in not a very healthy mindset. So it's a dark film. Um, it's an interesting one. I actually haven't seen it, so
right.
I can't wait to see how it turns out, and I'm really
Yeah,
excited about it.
and that's January, isn't it? That comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
January 14th.
14th. Look out for
Mm-hmm.
anyone who's listening. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I suppose, obviously, and so, the last question I've got, and I ask it to everyone, and obviously people take it in different directions, but like, obviously we're going into the new year, and like, what do you hope to accomplish in the coming months, like in 2022, professionally, personally, just like, what's on your agenda?
Um, I'm really excited to get out the content that I've been working on and sitting on for a while. That's my own. I actually already
Mm,
have released my first writing directing project just a
mm,
couple days ago that I'm really excited about. And I think that's just the beginning of creating and putting out my own directing and writing stuff.
mm,
I'm excited to, I think that all the stuff that I've been working on the past 2 years, 3 years is kind of finally coming to light. So I'm excited to be talking about it, seeing
mm.
it. And yeah, I'm really excited to do something totally different too. So I'm open and I'm ready.
Absolutely, for sure. I mean, obviously, best of luck with the new film and like with your continued success in your career and just everything you're going after. I mean, thanks again for taking the time, and take care and stay safe.
Thank you. Yes, you too. I'm always here to talk. You can reach out to me directly through Instagram or anything. I'm always down to chat.
Mm,
So thank you.
absolutely.